Very good evening, my dear friends. In today's session, we will learn about the features and administration of the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992, in short called the SEBI Act. Friends, this is a new phenomenon brought in 1992, that is in that particular decade, wherein the erstwhile Capital Issues Control Act was repealed. And that was a time where there was a securities boom in India. At the same time, scams also, like the Harshad Mehta scams. So all these things went together at that particular point of time. And India passed through a very, very critical stage of economic crisis. And the securities market also. However, the securities market ultimately was stabilized. So in this regard, there are few legislations, in fact, which played a very pivotal role apart from the Companies Act. One is the Securities Contracts Regulation Act, the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act, and then the Depositories Act. These are all the legislations, in fact, regulate the dealings in the securities market. So friends, I will tell you about the basic features and administration of the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992, and then one by one I will take you through the issues where you are supposed to write your examination. These subjects I will cover now. I will take you to the legislative history first, what made this particular legislation to be incorporated. Well friends, until the middle of 1992, the securities market in India was governed by, as I told you, the Capital Issues Control Act 1947, and then the Companies Act 1956, and also the Securities Contracts Regulation Act 1956. Then friends, the governance of securities market underwent a drastic change in the year 1992, which synchronized with the globalization concept in this country. Then friends, the Capital Issues Control Act restricted the issuers' access to the securities market and controlled the pricing of the issues also. Whereas the objective was that channelization of national resources into proper lines and also ensure investors' protection. Then the Companies Act had set out the code of conduct for the corporate sector in relation to the issue, allotment and transfer of securities, and disclosures to be made in public issues. Then the Securities Contracts Regulation Act ensures now, and that point also, ensures the regulation of transactions in securities through control over stock exchanges. What happened actually, the Capital Issues Control Act Y was brought in and then repealed. As part of economic reforms and the liberalization process during May 1992, the Capital Issues Control Act 1947 was repealed, which was brought into force under Defence of India rules. Then the Office of Control of Capital Issues was abolished. Then somebody has to regulate now. What would be who is the regulator? Then the SEBI has come into picture. The capital market was allowed to allocate resources to competing users, and the absolute control of the government over the capital issues ceased. As I told you earlier, it was the case. To ensure effective regulation of the capital market, then, as a regulator is required, the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992 was enacted, and the SEBI, the Securities and Exchange Board of India, was established so that proper regulation would be there. So the regulator happened to be for securities the SEBI. Under SECRA, Securities Contracts Regulation Act, the regulator happened to be the central government as well as SEBI. So under this SEBI Act, Securities and Exchange Board of India Act, a board called Securities and Exchange Board was established with statutory powers to protect the interest of the investors in securities, to promote the development of the securities market, and also to regulate the securities market thereon. This SEBI is vested with jurisdiction over corporates in the issuance of capital and transfer of securities, and also over all intermediaries and persons who are associated with securities market. So, as a major regulator in India, this particular SEBI, that is the Securities and Exchange Board of India, also, which is, of course, in short we call it as SEBI, it is vested with all the necessary powers, autonomy and authority to regulate and develop an orderly security market in the country. Friends, the board is board means the SEBI, totally empowered to specify the matters to be disclosed by the corporates, the standard of disclosure required to protect the investors in respect of the public issues. The SEBI can issue directions to all intermediaries and other persons associated with the securities market to protect the interest of the investors and ensure orderly development for securities market, and the board also can hold inquiries, audits and inspection of all concerned and adjudicate offences under the SEBI Act. Adjudicate offences under SEBI Act. The adjudication of offences under SECRA is different. There it's central government or the particular officer, adjudicating officer. Here the situation is a little bit different. Viewers, dear friends, we will in fact learn about the basic structure of this particular legislation, Securities and Exchange Board of India Act. This act consists of 35 sections divided into 7 chapters, and the schedule was repealed in the year 2001. The act underwent, of course, drastic changes under the Securities Laws Amendment Act 1995, the Depositories Act 1996, the Securities Laws Amendment Act 1999, the Securities Laws Second Amendment Act 1999, repealing and amending Act 2001, and the SEBI Amendment Act 2002. So friends, now I will take you to the objectives of this legislation. The preamble of the Act states that this Act is enacted to provide for the establishment of a board, that is Securities and Exchange Board of India. What purpose? To protect the interests of investors in securities, to promote the development of and to regulate the securities market, and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. Friends, the scope and powers of SEBI under this Act are more wider than the powers of Controller of Capital Issues under the Capital Issues Control Act 1947. And the SEBI has absolute autonomy and embedded with various multi-dimensional powers to administer this particular legislation, which is playing a very, very pivotal role in regulating the securities market in this country. Then friends, I will take you briefly to each chapter. Chapter 1 of the Act contains sections 1 and 2, dealing with the preliminaries and the definitions, of course. Then the chapter 2 contains sections 3 to 9, pertaining to establishment of SEBI and its management. And section 3 deals with SEBI as a body corporate having perpetual succession and then common seal, and the power to acquire, hold and dispose of properties both movable and immobile, and to contract, sue and be sued in its own name. It's a body corporate. The SEBI is a regulator but a body corporate. And then the SEBI has its head office at Mumbai in the state of Maharashtra, and it has powers to establish its offices at various places in India as it has established. I advise you to study thoroughly the provisions under sections 3 to 9 of the SEBI Act, so that you will get grip over this particular managerial and then operational aspects of this particular Securities and Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI. Now I will take you to chapter 3, which contains provisions under section 10, which relate to the transfer of assets, liabilities of existing SEBI to the new board. In fact, we will go to the next chapter, that's more important. Chapter 4 comprises of sections 11 to 11D relating to the powers and functions of SEBI. Chapter 5 contains section 12 relating to the registration of stockbrokers, share transfer agents and others. Under these provisions, registration of intermediaries like stockbrokers, sub-brokers, share transfer agents, bankers to an issue, trustees of trust deeds, registrar to an issue, merchant bankers, underwriters, portfolio managers, investment advisors, and all such persons with SEBI is mandatory. They are all supposed to register with SEBI, sir. Otherwise, they cannot function. So, all intermediaries are supposed to register today. What we are finding in the market, they are all supposed to register. Then, friends, I will take you through chapter 5A, which contains provisions under section 12A pertaining to prohibition of manipulative and deceptive device, insider trading, and substantial acquisition of securities or control. Then chapter 6 contains the provisions under sections 13 to 15 relating to finance, accounts and audit. Chapter 6A contains provisions 15A to 15JA relating to penalties and adjudication. Chapter 6B contains sections 15K to 15Z relating to the establishment, jurisdiction, authority and procedure of Securities Appellate Tribunal, that is called SAT, S-A-T. That is under chapter 6B, sections 15K to 15Z. I have made a reference to this in my lectures on Securities Contracts Regulation Act. Then the last chapter 7 contains provisions under sections 16 to 35, like miscellaneous provisions, like the power of central government to make rules, regulations, issue directions and supersede the SEBI and like matters, so that all these things at an appropriate time we can read. And then I have just given you a briefing of the basic structure of the legislation now. In my next lecture, I will take you through the important definitions, the functions, and then various other aspects, penalties under this particular SEBI. So, accordingly, we will meet again. Thank you, my dear friends, and then I wish you a very great day. Bye-bye. Thank you.